You ever had that one neighbor who thinks they own the entire block? Yeah, that happened to Mike and his wife, Jenna. And let me tell you, it got wild. Picture this: Karen, the self-appointed HOA queen, calls 911 to storm their private driveway. Convinced she's got the upper hand, but she had no idea Jenna was the one taking her call on the other end. Talk about a plot twist. So, Mike and Jenna moved into this beautiful home on the edge of a neighborhood called Pine Ridge Estates. Officially, their house wasn't even in the HOA boundaries, technically private property, but close enough that Karen acted like it was her kingdom. Just a week after moving in, Karen shows up with a clipboard and this fake, sweet smile, telling them their mailbox didn't meet community standards. Mike tries to explain they aren't in the HOA, even offers to show proof. But Karen just waves it off like it's a joke. She hands over a massive binder filled with rules about paint colors, lawn ornaments, even porch light bulbs, stuff nobody should care about. Right. But Karen cared, and she was relentless, week after week. Karen found new things to complain about: the landscaping, the porch lights, the hedge heights, all violations. She even blocked their driveway with her golf cart, measuring their bushes like a tyrant. Mike's patience ran out, so they installed a simple iron gate with a keypad, nothing fancy, just a clear private property sign. Karen flipped out, demanded the gate code, threatened legal action, left voicemails dripping with entitlement. Jenna, who works as an emergency dispatcher, warned Mike they might need a restraining order soon. Then came the morning that changed everything. Karen's at the gate, slamming the buzzer nonstop, shouting through the intercom, demanding entry for an inspection she had no right to do. Mike calmly tells her to leave: no authority, no access. Karen storms off, but then returns with the ultimate move. She calls 911 and reports screaming and a possible emergency at their address. Her goal: to force the police to break down their gate. Here's the kicker: Jenna, Mike's wife, was the dispatcher who answered that call. She recognized Karen's voice immediately. They'd been dealing with her nonsense for months. Jenna knew there was no emergency, but had to dispatch officers anyway. She flagged the call as suspicious, even noted Karen's history of harassment. Police arrive quickly. Karen parades over, pointing fingers, trying to sound convincing. Mike meets the officers, shows his ID, and explains everything. One officer asks, "Sir, is your wife Jenna Miller?" Mike nods, confused. Turns out, Jenna's been feeding them the full story. Karen's been harassing Mike and Jenna relentlessly, despite having zero jurisdiction over their property. Karen's smug facade crumbles as the officers lay out the facts: false 911 calls, repeated harassment, documented proof. Neighbors start gathering, watching the showdown unfold. Then, bam, Karen gets arrested for filing a false police report and misusing emergency services. You could see the shock and fear in her eyes. The HOA queen dethroned. Fast forward to Karen's court hearing: a $5,000 fine, probation, 200 hours community service, plus a restraining order keeping her away from Mike and Jenna's home. But the real justice: the HOA called an emergency meeting and voted her out as president. Turns out they'd been quietly suffering under her rule for years. After all the chaos, Mike and Jenna finally have peace. But here's what gets me: how many other Karens are out there, abusing power under the guise of community? When does neighborhood pride cross the line into outright tyranny? And what would you have done if you were in their shoes? I want to hear your take. Is Karen just doing her job, or was this pure harassment? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your own crazy neighbor stories. And if you liked this wild ride, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life drama. Because sometimes justice comes from the least expected places, even from the dispatcher on the other end of the line.